Something has fundamentally shifted in March and April of this year. When we look at various metrics regarding attention on crypto, regarding inflows into the crypto space as a whole, there is a real turnaround that happened in March and April of this year. I want to share what I mean in this video. Let's start off with the simplest of possible metrics. How many people are searching for crypto on Google? Because the more searches there are, the more people are potentially coming into the space. This is a 5-year chart, and this peaked in the week from the 3rd to the 9th of March 2024. Since then, we only have half of the search volume compared to the levels in March. Now, the search volume might have been cut in half. The Bitcoin price, though, was still able to somewhat sustain high. But it's also interesting where it peaked, right? It peaked on the 13th of March of this year. Since then, we are slowly bleeding. And it might be reasonable to assume that we need another wave of attention to get to new all-time highs. So 18% was the drop in Bitcoin. But the drop in activity was way larger. When we look, for example, at the activity on decentralized exchanges, we don't just see 18% reduction. Check this out. This is the monthly decentralized exchange volume by project. This peaked at around $200 billion in March of this year. And in July, that was roughly at 130 billion. And the tendency is clearly downwards. Here's the decentralized exchange trading volume on Solana. Again, surprise, surprise, it peaked in the middle of March of this year. That was at 25 billion. And in the first week of August, we are at 15 billion. In other words, a drop of 40% in activity. Now, wherever there's a lot of trading, there's also a lot of bot activity that spiked as well in the middle of March. So a massive run up, especially during the meme coin trading frenzy. Now we are simply staying at a somewhat low level. And so the Bitcoin whales noticed all of this, right? When the activity spiked in the middle of March, they started to sell off their Bitcoin holdings quite a bit around the end of March. Have a look at the value days destroyed metric. So this shows activity of the long-term holder whales, and that peaked on the 28th of March. So roughly 2 weeks after the on-chain activity slowed down. And the 28th of March was still a very high price, right? It was still very close to the all-time high. Since the large whales sold Bitcoin, we've seen a drop of 16%. And so first search interest slowed down. Then Bitcoin peaked. Then trading activity on decentralized exchanges peaked. Then the whales in Bitcoin sold. And then subsequently on the 21st of March, so at the last day of March, the altcoin market cap peaked. Now this is an adjusted altcoin market cap. We remove various stable coins from this. So we're just looking at the volatile altcoins. And as one can expect, the altcoins tend to bleed more than Bitcoin during bearish times. So that went down by 36%. Still not as much as search interest went down or as much as trading activity went down. But if you picked the wrong altcoins, you might have crushed your portfolio during that time. Here are the videos that work on YouTube. XRP will be $12,000 guaranteed, or an AI explosion, top 3 cryptos to buy in November. A lot of pushing of greed, that's what gets the clicks. What doesn't get the click is a tutorial on how to make backtests, on how to build those sheets that in the end figure out what historically worked well in the past. The backtest that I often show here on this channel. I still very much enjoy producing this kind of content though. I also share these kinds of sheets, but I don't do it on YouTube. You also get direct access to me. Feel free to check it out. It's thebitcoinstrategy.com. Now there are 2 more interesting indicators that followed, 2 more bearish signals that followed all of this. The first one is that the stablecoin market cap tended to not expand that quickly anymore. So the stablecoin market cap is a measure of how much money, how much fiat is flowing into crypto, and that tended to stop rising on the 24th of April. So roughly 3 weeks after the altcoin values peaked. We are going back up again very slowly, but the expansion recently has definitely slowed down quite a bit compared to the earlier days. What's very interesting is that the market cap of the altcoins peaked at the end of March, but the value, the total value locked on chain on various DeFi protocols peaked much later. That happened in the first week of June. The final nail in the coffin for me was when the 120-day simple moving average for Bitcoin got crossed. So when you do various back tests and you try to find out the best moving average to time the bull markets and the bear markets, and you buy whenever the price is above and you sell whenever the price is below, when you try to find the perfect duration for the moving average for Bitcoin, it's the 120 day. And that cross happened on the 18th of June with a bit of a failed signal at the end of July and a final confirmation on the 1st of August. So yeah, something definitely changed in March and April of this year. The very first indicator was simply just search interest into crypto. So it does make sense to simply watch that very closely. For now, I'm not trying to find the one or two altcoins that might outperform the market. I believe that Bitcoin still is relatively expensive compared to how little activity there currently is. And so my main objective in this bear market is to simply keep purchasing power, to not get burned, to not hurt myself when catching a falling knife. I think it's much better to bet on falling prices now. I'm shorting various altcoins. I currently have 6 altcoin positions open that I'm shorting. I am going to add more of those positions. And instead of trying to buy the dips whenever we go low, I try to short the tops. So I'm looking for recovery rallies because I believe that over the next weeks, potentially months, we might go even lower. If you've got bullish data, if you've got data that shows that we might be recovering very soon, then please share this down below. I want to discuss that kind of data on this channel as well. I want to be as objective as possible. If you feel you got something out of this video, feel free to give this a like. It helps the channel grow. Feel free to also subscribe in case it's your very first time here. In case you've got Telegram, then feel free to join us as well. There's a link to a free Telegram down below. Looking very much forward to chatting with you. Cheers.